We are joined here in studio by the trainer of Daniel Dubois. Dubois, who won, of course, against Jarrell Miller over in Saudi just before Christmas Day. And his trainer is one Don Charles, hugely respected figure in the world of boxing. Don, how are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. Happy New Year to you and to your listeners.
Thank you so much, Don. Happy New Year to you. When you look back at it, your man Daniel, he stopped Jarrell Miller, Rent-A-Gob Miller, with seconds left in their 10-round heavyweight match in Saudi. When you look back at it, was it job well done by Daniel?
Oh, most definitely. I couldn't have asked for a better ending. A win would have been enough. He was winning most of the rounds. And then when he pulled it out to take his initiative to stop him, that's just the icing on the cake.
I mean, Don, tell us about, the journey that you've had with Daniel. You started training him. He got that opportunity against Alexander Usyk, that controversy that surrounded that fight. But he come out the loser there. He's going back into this fight. He gets given this opportunity against Jarrell Miller, who many considered would win that fight. He was unbeaten going into that one. A lot of people felt that he was the favourite going in. How did you have to work on Daniel, not just physically, but mentally to get that victory?
Like you said, it's more a mental thing. Daniel's a very physical young man. And, his father, if I may state that, his father has done a great job at home. And we do it together, the mental side of it, when he's in the gym. And, done a great job. It was more mental than anything with Daniel. And we managed to... remember, this kid's only young.
Yeah, what is he, 26 years of age?
Just turned 26.
And it's opened up a world of opportunities, especially with the Saudis now investing in sport, in heavyweight boxing especially. It's opened up a world of opportunity. Where does he go from here now, Daniel? I mean, what is the route? When are you looking at getting him out again? Is it as early as March?
Yeah, I mean, look, Frank Warren's the architect, the engineer. He will present, I believe he's mentioned March. To his next outing, Daniel's next outing. So have to speak to Frank and see if that's concrete. And then we're going to camp. And who will it be? As I sit here, I don't know.
I mean, I didn't go into... I expected Daniel to win this fight, and I'm sure that you did. And lots been made of the fragility, potentially, of Daniel because of the miscarriage. I was at the Joyce... Dubois fight at Mansion House during lockdown. Myself and Jim went to that, and a lot was made about the fragility, and then people had to row back from that because they found out that broken orbital sockets and so on and so forth were the reasons why, and perhaps his corner should have done a little bit better for him than taking him out rather than the fighter having to take the action. And then you've got the observations after the Usyk fight where people suggested he didn't jump on Alexander when he had a chance, and also the feeling that he didn't bite down on his gum shield. Did you feel, Don, that any of these things were mental blocks that you had to get past with Daniel and get Daniel past them? Or was it just the case of, okay, these haven't gone our way, we are what we are? Because we know that Daniel's got the physical attributes. It was 3 years ago that everyone was writing, forget Joshua, forget Fury, this is the next one, this is the next world champion. And people think he's going to be a world champion when other people disappear off the landscape. But going back to my question, were these mental things that you had to work with him to overcome, or are these figments of other people's imaginations?
No, it's a mental thing. It's there to be seen. The narrative that's been put out there, I don't think is actually totally fair.
Right.
Okay. This kid, let's go back to the Joyce fight, for instance. He had the intelligence to take a knee. There is such a thing of taking a knee in boxing. Yeah. And had he stood up and carried on fighting, who's to say he would have sustained a life,
a career-ending
injury?
Yeah.
So we have to look at that as well. And can I ask this, right? Because I was actually, I know you're going to ask me that question. MMA and UFC, they're all tough guys. When they tap out, is that quitting?
What, they're in a bit of a chokehold?
Yeah, or any hold.
Yes, it is the answer to that.
Right, so... Yeah. We've got to compare it because it's a fight. This is physical. It's fighting. So I was thinking about it the other day. That means all these tough guys who do MMA and UFC, when they tap out, they don't want to because the pain is excruciating. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that?
So what you're saying? The public generally don't. They never say, "Oh, he quit." There's not a quit in there.
I don't hear anyone ever saying that these guys are athletes have quit. And Daniel, I think, is being persecuted by the general public about this quitting
But
accusation.
hang on.
Go on.
Let's be fair to that observation, because it's been perpetuated by the industry itself.
Correct.
You've had leading fighters or former fighters came out and made these observations very, very quickly about Daniel. So the public will jump on the back of the perceived wisdom of those that do the sport.
Yeah, but I think it's wrong. It doesn't make it right.
No, that's why I'm asking you. I'm not making the accusation.
About Daniel, and we talk about this mental side of it for him. One thing I did notice, and I'm watching it like a layman, I mean, who am I? But I noticed Daniel started pushing Miller off every time the American leaned on him. Mm-hmm. And this is an opponent who was over 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Does that come down to mindset? Did you get him into the corner and say, God, what are you doing?
Yeah, that wasn't part of the game plan. I mean, I can sit here and we won. God forbid, had we lost that fight, then, that was not a part of the game plan. To push a 333-pound guy.
And is that how you come in, Don? You say,
of
I
course.
don't want you doing that.
Most definitely.
Listen, I've got a question for you. After round 2, I'm looking at him. I'm looking at Daniel when he walks back to the ring, and Jarrell was making him work hard. He was walking forward. He wasn't throwing punches, but making Daniel work. And Daniel was throwing punches like he was in a 3-round fight. And so I'm looking at him at the end of the second round. I'm going, he's starting to gas a little bit here. And it was your job then to sort of talk him up, tell him to ease off, stop pulling him back, etc. Like, that's the importance of a good corner man, though, right? As in, what I'm saying is, if you would have allowed him to go, he would have gassed out after 4 rounds. That is a fact.
Anybody would, because basically that wasn't part of the plan. It was loaded up, throwing power shots, too premature. And I pulled him up on it. If you go and listen to the corner,
I heard it. Yeah.
I did pull him up on it. So stop loading up. It's too premature, right? Let's pepper this guy. Fast hands, fast feet. And you know what? I'm not here to criticize my fight. I couldn't be more proud of that young man.
Yeah.
The pressure that he was under. If this guy's coming at you like a steam train, no interested in punching you, just to make you work. And and he fatigued. Miller fatigued.
He thought he'd take Daniel into those penultimate rounds, and that's where he would come into his own, because he felt that's where Daniel's mental weakness.
He was of you saying, don't shove him back like that. He's a heavy guy, Miller. And Daniel not jumping in Usyk after that low blow.
Right.
Is that, and I don't mean to sound disrespectful to Daniel because I like him, is that a lack of boxing IQ?
I wouldn't say experience. Let's say experience.
Lack of experience.
Lack of
exactly
experience.
What it is. Yeah. Knowing
and that's part of your job.
Most definitely.
You spot it and you say, one thing I want you to do, and it's not that.
This kid's learned on the job. He's 26 years old.
Yeah.
He's got another 4 years. Heavyweights don't peak till they're about 29, 30.
Yeah.
He's got another 4 years of development.
Yeah. Was there anyone in Riyadh who actually liked Miller?
Well, do you know, to my surprise, yes.
You're kidding me.
Most definitely.
It was ghastly from start to finish.
It was entertaining everybody. Yeah, he was entertaining everybody.
He absolutely did.
He did his job.
He absolutely did.
With due respect to Daniel, he's not a great speaker. And Anthony Joshua decided to be monosyllabic. So there was no one else that was going to carry it. And Deontay Wilder had found a new karma.
Yeah.
So you needed someone.
He wasn't narcissist either about it. Like, it was quite humorous, a lot of the stuff that he was doing out there. He did put a lot of life and energy into the camp.
I have to acknowledge that and commend him for that. He played his role, his pantomime villain.
Yeah. Well, we might not see him for a while because he might get locked up over in the US. Don, here's the thing. In the heavyweight equation, you've hinted maybe March for Daniel. We don't know the opponent. But where does Daniel now stand in the heavyweight equation, would you say? I mean, are you hopeful that he's there, but by God, he's going to get there?
Most definitely. I mean, one step at a time. Let's not get carried away. I, for one, I'm not going to get carried away. I'm old enough to know that don't believe the hype in the sense that, not that my guy is a hype. You know, when the public get carried, not so long ago, they were persecuting us, Daniel Dubois. Then suddenly the same people, the same personnel are going to lift you. You can't buy into that concept. You're one step at a time.
Don, Daniel's put himself right back in the mix now, with the big names of the sport. Anthony Joshua obviously had a good win against Otto Wallin as well. Anthony Joshua, who you've trained in the past, known for many, many years, trained in our gym together. What happens if you get that situation where Daniel Dubois goes in against Anthony Joshua? How difficult is that for you as a trainer, knowing Joshua so personally?
Yeah, of course. I have thought about that.
Because that's a reality. That could happen.
Of course it is. But let me cross that bridge when we get there. I have thought about that.
Nice answer, Don.
That's a difficult one, though, right?
Yes, it is, yeah.